You know, being authentic, being who you are, and understanding who you are is one of the greatest journeys you can ever go on. It's maybe even the most important journey you'll ever go on. And I'm going to dive into how you do that, the importance of it, the necessity. And in my own life, I look back on my own life, and the best things that have ever happened to me have always stemmed from being as close to my authentic self as I possibly can. And I say close to because you can never fully grasp who you are exactly. But yeah, I look back and I go back to when I was 9 years of age, and all my friends, all my best friends, they were all playing football. My dad, he was a football player, and he wanted me to get into football, and I just didn't quite click with football, and I fell in love with tennis, and I went with tennis. And even though my friends were taking the mick out of me and said, you know, that's a loser sport and blah blah, and I just went with tennis because that's what I wanted to do. And tennis gave me everything, everything in my life, everything great in my life, this amazing life that I have, it stemmed from tennis. When I met my wife, on the first date, I went with who I was. I said, I'm just gonna be me, and hopefully she likes me for me. And we've been together 12 and a half years. We've got two beautiful young children together. And even with YouTube, with this channel, pretty recently, just listening to myself, understanding myself more, and going my intuition and wanting to create the content that I really wanted to produce and things that I really wanted to talk about, that led me to starting this other channel. And that has led to the videos blowing up and the channel gaining more traction, and one of the biggest names in this side of the internet hiring me as a coach. Now, I've mentioned something like that in my other videos. I'm going to reveal who this person is in good time, in a few weeks. Don't worry, I will. But yeah, so I look back, all the best things that happened to me came from me being true to myself. And the importance of it, I can't underestimate. I can't undersell how important it is to be yourself, to be authentic, to know who you are, because it's so important. You see, it's my definition of true success. You know, how many people say, you know, successful person, money, fame, status, all of this type of thing, and how many times do you hear someone who has it all, seemingly has it all, you know, millionaire, mansions, Ferraris, family, beautiful women, status, fame, whatever it is, and then they say they're not happy. And I truly believe that is because they haven't got a full grasp on actually who they truly are, and therefore they didn't choose their values and live their life according to the values that they really want to live by. You see, someone who does that, someone who has a grasp on who they are, you can then decide your values, decide your purpose, and then someone who aligns their life with that internal, with those values, that's success. Whatever that is, whether that's going to live out in the jungle, out in the sticks, in a cabin, or president of the United States, doesn't matter. If you can align those two things, then that is the true definition of success. But in order to do that, you have to get a grasp on who you are, and you put that out into the world. And so, how do you go about this? Because it's complicated and it's a lifelong journey. This is the great thing, and this is you first have to understand you'll never fully grasp who you are, because the human mind, human consciousness is so complex. There's so much to you. You can't grab that essence and say, right, this is who I actually am now. It's a never-ending exploration. It's lifelong till the day you die. But that is what is so good about it. That's what's so beautiful. That's why it's worthwhile. Anything that's lifelong is worthwhile, because you'll never get to the end of it. You'll never fully complete it. So therefore you do it forever, and that's brilliant. But yes, you go into it, and then you also have to humble yourself. You have to humble yourself in a big way, because if you're going to do that, if you're going to set out this challenge of understanding who you are, then that means that you have to understand your flaws, and you have to come face to face with those, and you have to admit them, because we get very, very good at ignoring those flaws, or glossing over them, or lying to ourselves about our flaws, telling us actually not, you know, we're actually got this strength, and maybe that strength is actually a weakness, and so on. And this is why one of the great benefits, by the way, of if you have a lifelong partner, marriage, whatever it is, and you both are committed to this lifelong endeavor, and they're a good person, and you love each other and respect each other, that person will actually tell you the truth on your flaws, and you know, and you might have to they'll shine a mirror on you, and you'll have to reflect and try to change for the better. But if you can do that by yourself, that involves very much disintegrating the ego. And that's hard to do. It's very hard to do, and to accept that of yourself. But if you can do that, all power to you. And so how do you go about this is, you watch yourself like you watch a stranger. You watch your thoughts, you watch your actions and your behaviors, everything. Just try even do a day of this. Like as the day goes on, you'll realize things make you angry, frustrated, happy, sad, whatever it is. And every time you have a reaction to something, ask yourself these questions. Why do I feel that way? What is making me feel like that? What is triggering me like this? Why do I react in that way? Why does, when that guy cuts me up, why do I get angry? So on. Why is it annoying when people leave the rubbish out or something like that, or I drop this thing, or why am I laugh at that thing? Why does this make me happy? Why am I satisfied with that? Look at your pleasures, look at your desires, your goals, look at your fantasies, look at the dark side of yourself, because this is great as well. When you look at the dark side of yourself, you'll actually can feel like a power come out of you, especially if you're someone who's like myself, who's always been a bit too nice. You'll actually realize you're made of much tougher stuff, and you'll be much more comfortable saying no and putting up boundaries and so on when you understand yourself. Still sweating away here in Cyprus. But yeah, like I said, watch yourself at all times. Question everything. Why do you react in that way? And then you'll start, as you do that and you get consistent with that, it's very difficult to do. And I said, try to do this for a day. You won't be able to do it throughout the day. You'll forget a lot. But it's like a muscle. You train it and you remind yourself all the time. And if you get good at this and you do this over weeks and months and years and hopefully the rest of your life, you'll actually start to get a very good grasp on who you are. And then what you can do is then you take the courage to be yourself, because most people aren't. Most people are scared. Most people are afraid to be themselves, to be rejected by themselves. To be rejected for being themselves. And the problem is with like conformity, not being yourself, is everybody will like you but yourself. It's much more important to garner that courage and just put your best self, put yourself forward, who you are, who you truly are, the values you want to live by, the life you want to live, who you want to be, and you don't stray from that path, and you'll have no regrets. And life will take you on an amazing, amazing journey that you'll be very appreciative of. And in almost every case, I'm sure of this, I've come to believe this in a big way, life will reward you. It will give you much of what you truly want in this world. So that's what you do. You get a grasp on who you are, and then you create those values, and you don't stray by them, because they will be tested. Your values will be tested. And at the end of the day, you're only left with the man in the mirror. And I go back to this opportunity I've been given. One of these big creators has reached out to me, and he's hired me in for some coaching within his community, and I accepted because I respect this person. I've been watching this person for the last 2-3 years. I respect what they've done, the work that they put in, and so I was very willing to do it. But for example, if it was someone like Logan Paul who reached out to me, I would have told him no, because Logan Paul's a piece of shit. Because I know I've got a decent grasp on who I am, and I've been able to curate my own values, and I want to live by that. I want my own integrity. That can't be sold in that way, because I won't be able to live with myself long term. That regret will be too strong. And I was only able to do that because of that self-awareness. I wouldn't have been able to do that a few years ago. I probably would have just accepted on some dodgy deal if it ever came around. But I hope this helps.